My name is Liz Partsch.
And I am Paul Rowley.
And welcome to Farm and Dairy's Weekly Rundown.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I haven't been
You're better
here for
at it
a
than
minute.
I am.
Well, no, I didn't have a lot of good tone in that one, but thank you. But yeah, welcome everyone. I feel like I haven't been. I was just explaining to Liz a couple minutes ago. I feel like I haven't been here in like a long time, so I'm so excited to be back.
Yeah, we're gonna give you some good stories. But first, before we dive into the stories, I'd like to thank Sarah Custer for this magnificent hunk of a cucumber. Wait, what? Yeah. This is what happens when you leave your house for 2 weeks, she said, and which is really funny because I just left my house for a little while, the garden unattended, and I got a really big cucumber. It was actually stuck in the fence. I had to pull the fence up to get it out. Yeah, and I thought it was big. It was like half of the size of this.
Which is still large.
Which is still large, but this is like
Godzilla.
This is like Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. So thank you so much. We're gonna keep her right here throughout the episode, so everybody can see her.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Yeah. I love that. Wow.
So awesome.
Dang.
All right. Well, I'll kick us off if you don't mind.
By all means.
Yeah, so we have a nice story that graces the front of our paper this week, and it revolves around Colmanon Cattle Company and their use of GPS collars to rotationally graze.
Cool.
Yeah, so William and Mackenzie Colmanon raise 320 head of cattle and grow corn, soybeans, barley, and oats on 100 acres in Eden Valley, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, with such an expansive property, 800 acres, that's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah. Fencing off cover crop land and keeping track of each paddock is often time-consuming and just unfeasible, frankly. That's why the Colmanons started using GPS collars on their cattle. So before we get into the GPS collars, what has been the benefits, how has their experience been, let's go all the way back. The couple first bought the land 8 years ago. It was William's uncle's dairy farm. And they've done a lot of work on the property since they bought it. So for starters, the first order of business was updating the buildings on the property, including, installing a new roof, floor and siding on the barn, putting in an unloader in the silo, and setting up a new fencing.
Okay.
The couple then purchased Angus and Wagyu beef cattle in 2019. But with livestock came, more necessary upgrades, including fencing off areas with stream access and building a feedlot further away from the stream that also had a manure storage and dry pack.
Neat.
So for those who don't know, when cattle have access to streams, it can degrade water quality with feces, and it can also cause health impacts to cattle. So double bad, basically. So William actually won a Conservation Farm Award recently in 2025 for these efforts that he did with the stream. But the real game changer for the Colmanons would really begin when they get these GPS collars in March. They bought 64 Gallagher collars, 38 of which are currently being used for $250 per collar. The cattle wear 5-pound collars that have solar panels attached to keep the devices charged.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty innovative.
Yeah.
And through the GPS collar app, which is called eShepherd, William can see where the cattle are on the map and can draw on the next paddock he wants them to be relocated to. So it almost kind of looks like Google Earth.
Yeah.
You can see the lines of the paddocks.
Okay.
There's a photo. There should be a photo online. But yeah, and then when the cattle get within 5 feet of the virtual GPS fencing boundary, or 6 feet, sorry, they will hear a loud buzzing noise. It's kind of like a warning, like
the cattle
stop.
do?
Yeah, the cattle do. And if they try to cross the fencing, then they get a slight electric pulse that kind of keeps them in check.
Okay.
And for moving the cattle, there's minimal effort really. They just move on their own, which I thought was kind of crazy. I didn't realize this, but when they no longer hear the loud buzzing noise when they're like kind of near the edge of the paddock, they just kind of move on to the next land because they want food. They just naturally move on. So it's minimal effort. It sounds like it's been a real benefit.
Wow.
And then they mentioned, of course, the cattle were a little bit disoriented when they first put the collars on. But getting used to it, the system would obviously take much more time. To train them, the Colmanons put the cattle in a paddock with fencing and drew a GPS virtual fence line on the visible fence. So that they could get accustomed to like the warning noises, the subsequent electric pulse with like a visible target. I hope that makes sense to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay. I follow.
Yeah. So far the benefits have been pretty immense. The collars have allowed the Colmanons to expand their rotational grazing and save lots of time. So for years, the cattle were unable to graze their cover crops because there was no fencing in those fields. And adding permanent fencing to every farm field would have been created an additional obstacle. Just a reminder, 800 acres.
Right.
Right. Like that. is so much. This is actually a quote that William had told me. He said, "It's different every year. We put the cows in the summertime. To build fence and work around the crop operation is just not efficient. There's no simple way to farm land and still graze it efficiently without really making a mess of things."
Okay.
So yeah, it would just be, very time consuming, very difficult. Yeah. So before the collars, the cattle were grazing 10 out of the coal maintenance 25 paddocks. Today, the cattle roam all 25, 20 of which don't even have fencing.
Wow.
So really cool.
Yeah.
In the past, the coal maintenance have, tried fencing with wheels to roll through the paddocks and temporary fencing. And while these options have worked, it really is just labor and time intensive.
Yeah.
Now there is 50 acres of permanent pasture and they rotationally graze on. An additional 100 to 200 acres of cover crop land opened up because of the collars that they can graze on. Yeah, lots. And then, even more than that, in the fall, the couple hopes to graze corn stalks, which would open up an additional 300 acres on the farm.
Wow.
Yes. Another benefit is the app is easy to is just easier to check in on the cows. So, for example, a pregnant heifer might appear alone in the field. They appear as, I guess I should tell you this, they appear as like little kind of green dots on the map.
Okay.
So if you see like a little green dot, like all the way over there, you're like, why is this cattle alone? Yeah. It might kind of signal like, oh, she's getting ready to it's a pregnant heifer. Maybe she's getting ready to have a child. So that is a benefit that William had spoke to me about.
Wow.
Now, obviously, there's a cost, As I mentioned, it's $250 per collar. Mm-hmm. And it's also $2 per month to provide cellular service to each collar.
Oh, each one.
Yeah. But Coal Maintenance says it's a minor cost in the long run when they consider the money they're saving on having more pasture as feed versus supplementing with hay.
Okay.
They're having reduced their feed because now they're going to be able to feed on corn stalks and stuff like that. That was his reasoning. Okay. I mean, for them, obviously they're still in the beginning phases of trying out this new technology. They're still trying to figure it out. But so far, it seems to have made their life easier.
Okay.
Is what William said. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really know about this before going into the story that this was a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
Because this is really fascinating. One of them, my first question, are there any other like biometric like data information that the collar, is it just location, or does this collar also tell like, here's what the temperature of the cow is, like here's like, because I've talked to some farmers before that like they had certain technologies that it told them like a whole like array of information about like the health of the animal. Does that do any of that, or is it just location stuff?
So it tells you how many times a cow gets like shocked.
Oh, okay.
Or like, gets that electric pulse if it tries to move on the fence. But other than that, because I did ask that same question to William, and he said that at least the collars that they got don't do that, but they are like innovating it. Like there are collars out there that do, I guess, monitor like health and stuff like and heart rate, which would be really cool to combine the two, you know. But yeah, I don't think at least the ones that the coal maintenance are using, I don't think they do that.
Okay, so. Coolness. Mm-hmm. And the other question that I have is, and this is just, I'm trying to think back of some reporting that I did over a year ago on ear tags, which were controversial because of reasons I can't quite recall easily. But I think mainly there was a concern that like if there was it was like a Bluetooth thing. There was a Bluetooth feature or something in the ear tag, and there was concerns about data sharing and privacy. I think if I was to boil everything down that I can remember about the ear tag controversy. But is there any like what happens to the data, if anything, from these collars? It kind of sounds like it stays on the farm, but is it accessible like to anyone else? Like were there any privacy concerns that you were made aware of from this story?
I mean, he didn't really mention any privacy concerns. It is like an app on your phone. Yeah. I mean, I think supposedly like there could be privacy concerns and data stealing with any app or anything you use on a phone. I mean, he didn't mention anything specifically.
Yeah.
Then again, like I don't really know like how like sensitive, like how like sensitive that data would be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it did get leaked, it's just like, you can tell, you could look up that all those 800 acres are his property.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe the concern maybe be like trying to steal, like someone tries to steal the cattle and turns off the system. But
That'd be hard to do for like a large animal. We haven't,
also, you would probably could tell on the app, like you'd be like, oh my God, where
is that one green dot? Like,
yeah, where are all the green dots? Then of course they'd probably like go out and like find them. But it was really cool because he was like, I can literally move my cattle from anywhere. Like,
that's so neat.
Like literally they could be on vacation and probably
that's so
like
cool.
check on that, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, which is cool too, because I feel like in farming it's like notoriously people don't really vacation because it's a full-time job, right?
You don't vacation as a reporter either. For what it's worth.
Well, there's lots of jobs where you don't even vacation, and partly maybe just money at this point. But anyway, just look at the giant cucumber and it'll make you happy, guys. Don't think about your sad financial woes. But yeah, no, they didn't really express to me any like privacy concerns. I still feel like they're still learning it because it has only been like a few months. But yeah, it was cool.
It sounds like a really neat thing. I think it's really cool. Like the no fencing. I love how it just sounds so simple. And it's just like, like, I don't know, they just kind of move themselves and it's like part of this system, this rotational grazing system that works so well. I just think that's really cool. Like, it's just like, that's how technology is supposed to like make these tacit improvements to people's lives and their livelihoods and stuff like that. And we hear constantly how the opposite is true with like all of these technologies. Like one thing that is not, this is just an aside, but it doesn't pertain to like our reporting at all really, which is AI psychosis. Like I'm so interested in AI psychosis. Like when people develop relationships with chatbots and like lose touch with reality because then the chatbot, like ChatGPT or whatever, starts telling them that like they're the chosen one. And like, and I'm getting information straight from the angels. And like these are things that the chatbots are telling these unfortunately vulnerable people. And so it's just like technology is just this horror show right now. And so it's just nice and refreshing to hear like where it works for someone for once. Like, it's so nice.
It definitely is a mixed bag with technology, for good or for bad.
Right.
We use some of these technology.
So I like hearing when it works for people. And they benefit from it. So that's great. So nice job.
A win.
A win. A rare win. A W.
We need a win.
Well, that's awesome. That's cool. I guess is it volleyed to me now? Okay.
What do you got for us, Paul?
I'm gonna take a quick I'm going to make a quick break because I have to talk about, before I get into the thing that I wrote about for the paper this week, I do have to talk briefly about my car because I love talking about my my ailing station wagon on the car, on the pod. And so this weekend, it was time, I had to do a lot of reporting and driving this week specifically. And when I last took my car to the ribbon cutting in Columbus for the new agricultural center at the Expo Center, and the fairgrounds, the Ohio State Fairgrounds, my car was acting up a little bit. She was not happy with the 2+ hour drive from Cleveland to Columbus. She didn't seem like she wanted to drive back home. And we did get home and everything was fine. But I was like, okay, this is definitely time to replace my battery in my car because I knew that was something that needed to be done because the car died in a tire shop in May. And they had to jump it and it stressed everyone out. And they were like, you need to get a new battery. And I was like, okay. And I waited until August. So anyway, I get to the shop and I'm like, it's time to replace my battery. And I also had like a host of other things that I needed to get done on the car, or at least checked out. Like my AC has been acting up. I was like, let me just have you all look at. And everything was actually like, it was mostly good news for like everything that I was like worried about. Like, I don't know how bad this is going to be. It was not. It was like, actually I was the car just received lots of praise for being so old and yet in such good condition. So love that. That was great news. But the thing about the battery truly needed to be replaced. I thought it had been replaced sometime before I bought the car, not long before I bought the car in 2023. So that meant that the battery was like 2 or 3 years old, which is like about the lifespan of a normal car battery, apparently. My battery was 7.5 years old. I did not know that. And the person telling me this, including Google, which I also consulted for some background because I don't know anything about cars or most things actually. But it was like really dangerous for you to drive with a car battery. It was a new record for that Firestone shop in Cleveland. Oh my God. They usually don't see batteries that are that old in cars that are like actively driven. Usually like someone brings in a car that's been sitting for a long time. And that would have a battery that is that old, but not like a daily driver. It was like really dangerous. My car could have died at any time, but she never did and never gave me any trouble. And I was just none the wiser. Didn't you say
you could have like blown up too?
Yeah, it was like, you're basically like with a small bomb in your car. Like it could have just
oh my God.
Like think the bomb is not that it would have just like been, it's not that the car would have been consumed in flames all of a sudden, but like I could have been traveling at a high rate of speed and then it just like died or something. And then I'm the bomb.
Yeah, you are the bomb. Yeah, because everybody's, oh God.
So
yeah.
I was like,
oh man, Paul.
So
near-death experience.
Yeah.
You've been facing a near-death experience then basically for months.
All the time, yeah.
Basically for years, actually.
Yeah.
You've been living on the edge.
Literally, apparently. But it never
driving on the edge, actually.
Driving on the edge. It never like wavered or anything. It always started up, and since I got some exhaust work done this spring, like it starts up now. It's like, vroom, like it's ready to go. Never before did I get that. So now she's got a new battery that's brand new.
Nice.
And we're all good. But yeah, so replace your batteries. Make sure, I guess, check them and make sure that they're not that old. I didn't know it was 7. Okay, I'm sorry. But that's the latest on St. Vincent the Volvo, which got a compliment as I was trying to figure out another problem with it this morning from a jogger passing by who was just like, I love your car, man. It's beautiful. And I was like, yeah, thanks. It's great. So that's that. But now I'm going to tell you about the thing that I wrote about, which is inclusive livestock shows, which are really, really cool. So I'm going to use the beginning of this article as a jumping off point for the rest of the story. So I'm going to tell you about a young girl named Amelia Mimi Alt. By the time she was in 8th grade, which was not that long ago, she had spent enough time at the Jefferson County Fair to see how easy it was for her younger sister, Olivia, who has developmental disabilities, to be left out of all of the fun. Olivia loves animals and the show ring as much as her sister does, but standard junior fair classes aren't really designed for kids who need like a helper in the ring, leaving her with, and other kids like her, with few ways to participate in the animal exhibitions, in any like sort of 4-H aligned activity. So 3 years ago, while she was in middle school, or I guess junior high, this is the 8th grade, her sister Mimi started her own livestock show designed for kids like her sister, which is like really sweet.
That's really sweet.
Yes. Mimi is now a high school junior, and she runs the Special Olympics Unified Livestock Show, also known as SOLS. It's the acronym. It's an annual event at the Jefferson County Fair that pairs children who have disabilities with young 4-H mentors who bring along their animals. So the 4-H kids bring their pigs, goats, and rabbits to the show, and then the other kids get to exhibit those animals. And it's really, really sweet. The show returns this 15th of August, so in 2 weeks or about, to the fair's new livestock arena. So they have a brand new venue for this, which is really cool. Families will come over and arrive for an afternoon clinic to learn all about the animals and kind of get comfortable with exhibiting an animal, followed by the main event. And in the years that she has since started it, it's drawn support from the fair board, local extension staff, and then a growing community of volunteers. And then also fairgoers as well. Like they're really starting to come to this show, which is really cool. In the ring, each exhibitor is paired with a mentor who walks them through basic showmanship. And then meanwhile, Mimi and the other volunteers kind of keep things moving, like in the crowd and the events changing and stuff. They have a clinic, which gives the kids time to meet the animals, learn how to handle them, and then like interact even with some other animals that they won't be showing. Some of those include like ducks, show dogs. There was a big one too that just, what was it? Oh, it was like a mini horse. So not like a huge animal, but a mini horse that just came to be like petted and loved and talked about. And so the idea is to give kids that they don't have that sort of 4-H exposure or experience, or like junior fair experience, a chance to step into the ring themselves, but also be around livestock in a way that feels safe and fun. And then by showtime, it turns into like this kind of celebration. So like the animals are out and then they get to walk them, around the ring and stuff and exhibit them. But then the mentors will also go a step forward and will make like last year they made a human tunnel and they turned off all the lights and they handed out glow sticks to everyone and they had like horns that they were blowing and bubbles that they were blowing and like everyone just was so excited to like run through the tunnel and like it was such a sweet time. Really, really sweet. And then also I think last year Mimi started crowning a king and a queen. And so their names are plucked out of like a hat. And it's been received like really, really well. Like everyone wants to be the king and the queen. It's such a cute thing. Cute. So sweet. earlier this year, Mimi joined a small group of organizers to present at the Ohio Fair Managers Association conference, walking fair boards and volunteers through slides on how to start their own unified livestock show in their own counties. And that was really cool. And it's kind of, I think this is sort of like the flower of all of this effort that's been underway in Ohio to get inclusive livestock shows off the ground. And there's actually a bunch of them in Ohio now that I had a privilege of talking to a couple of people who run them. And also I talked to a mentor, and it's just like really, really cool. And so it's just really neat. It's a really cool. So that's one model. That's kind of how they do it in Jefferson County. But yeah, there's inclusive livestock shows all over the state. They're drawing really large audiences every single year. And it's also maybe kind of snowballing into this effort to make these sort of shows accommodating for other people. Like sensory friendly mornings are happening at fairs now, for example, too. So like it's bringing, the tent is getting so much bigger, and it's bringing all these extra people in, and it's just like a really nice time. The way that it was described for me at one point is that these shows kind of demonstrate to the communities where they're hosting, like what is possible. And it really pushes the boundaries of what people think or maybe have thought is possible. And it's just really nice to include all of these people with like myriad abilities to be able to participate on their own terms and include people. And someone described it to me, this is not a verbatim quote, but like that she looks at this as like an opportunity for us to like be nicer people in the world and like sort of I don't know, break stigmas. And it's just like a really good thing. And also the pictures that I don't know if they're going to be in the print issue, because I think it's still being laid out right now. So, and there wasn't like a ton of room. So I don't know if the pictures are going to be in the paper, but definitely check out the article online because the pictures are like heart melting. Like they're so sweet and they're just so great. So anyway, so it was really, really awesome to be able to write about this. And I think I'm going to Souls. I have a writing class that I'm going to the same Saturday, but it ends before the show starts. So I'm going to try to like get out of that class and then go to
Oh my
the
God, you should
livestock
take
fair.
pictures. That would be so
Yes,
fun.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm like really looking forward to it.
Did you get to meet Mimi and her sister?
I didn't. So I'm hoping to do it later
you
this
should.
month.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. And also their information, like Souls and the other shows that are in my article, they have Facebook presences, all of them, and then like website and stuff. So you can see like all of the information online should you look for it. But it's just really sweet, and it was a really nice thing to write about. So
yeah. Do you know how many counties having inclusive?
Yes. I don't have a number in my head, but it is like a lot. It's a lot more in Ohio than it is in I made some calls towards like in Pennsylvania and then West Virginia, because there's also a couple of livestock shows there that are inclusive, but it's not to the extent that it is in Ohio. For some reason, Ohio has really taken the banner of this. And like, there's a lot, and they cover also like all directions of the state. Like they're in the Northwest, in the Southeast. That's
awesome.
They're propping up everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's like
Isn't
really
it
swoop.
crazy that like it's taken so long for it to be included. I mean, because we talk about like progress, but we're like still actively very much in like progressing as a society. I mean, think about other rights, we're still, isn't that wild?
That's
I guess
so wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really feel good story, like something that our paper kind of needs, every once in a while. So
I think I actually might have a number after all. Hold on. 2025. Because I don't think I put this in the paper. Oh well. I think it is 30 Ohio fairs, more than 30 Ohio fairs organized last year during the 2025 fair season.
Where's the clap?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
That was it was like on the tip of my tongue.
Awesome.
I was like, wait a minute.
That's a decent amount. That's like That's like his thing about that could be like 30 counties.
Yeah.
And I think Ohio is what, like 60.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to say
big number.
I want to say like they have 60 counties, but if I'm wrong, please don't hate me. Something like that.
Something like that. But it's a lot. So it's a very
really awesome.
wide proportion of the state.
Cool.
So yeah.
But everybody check out those adorable photos. You won't want to miss out on that.
I'll definitely include them in the online article. So you'll get to enjoy them there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have a little reminder for you guys. Next week, Rachel, our editor, Rachel Wagner, and I, Liz Partsch, will be at Penn State Ag Progress Days. We will have a booth. Tuesday through Thursday
That's
next
so
week.
exciting.
Yes, please visit us. We will be giving out papers. We will have merchandise on sale. You get to talk to our editor about everything you like and don't like in the paper. Please talk to her and not to me about the dislikes. Just kidding. You're always welcome to have a conversation with me. Get some milkshake. Milkshake's gonna be a really fun time.
I could go for a milkshake, right?
Yeah, they have the best milkshakes. I highly recommend the maple milkshake at Pensag Progress Days.
Like really good.
Like also like the Dairymen's Association, you guys are really great too. But like I'm a maple girl.
Yeah.
I need that. Like I need the maple producers milkshake. But yeah, check it out. There's really cool stuff that happens there every year. The Century Farm Awards happen. A lot of really cool new farm machinery. Lots of really cool like programs happen. So yeah, come check it out. Please stop by our booth, and chat with us.
Nice.
So
all right, that sounds
awesome.
Good. Yeah.
Well, that's it for the paper this week, guys. To read the top stories, the full stories, you can go to farmingdairy.com. You can find your local newsstand, or you can subscribe to the paper and have it mailed right to your doorstep. So that is an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got it all here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week.
Bye for now.